Let me quickly speak to the surcharge on fuel. So one very important message for people to know is that this surcharge was not introduced by this government. It was introduced in 2007. And then it wasn't implemented because government was subsidizing fuel. So while we were doing this tax reform, it wasn't even in the original proposal. So it wasn't like the president proposed it to the National Assembly. But in the process of working on the bills, these issues came up. And then the decision was made that we shouldn't have different agencies collecting taxes. So the law that set up these surcharge mandated FEMA, that's the Federal Road Maintenance Agency, to collect this surcharge. 40% of it was to be for federal government roads, and 60% was meant to go to states of the revenue collected. Like I said, it wasn't implemented. And because of this reform, many taxes, so many of them were repealed from our laws. For example, there was a tax introduced on telecommunication by the previous administration that was already removed from the law as we speak. There was the one on cybersecurity that has now been harmonized, and so on and so forth. So many taxes, people easily say that President Tinubu is a tax master, he's introducing taxes, but I'll challenge anybody to tell me, one tax that this president has introduced. So most of the taxes, even the cybersecurity levy, was introduced in the previous administration. But to prevent tax being implemented arbitrarily, there are proper consideration for the state of the economy, issues around inflation. So the decision was made to put this in the new law and to put a commencement date that is going to be in the future based on an order to be gazetted by the minister. So nobody will just, spontaneously introduce the tax and create problems for the system. So actually, I can tell you that before these tax laws were enacted, shortly after it was signed, there was already an attempt by the agency to even collect the tax. And we have to say to them, you have to wait, you can't collect it because the new law says you are not the one to collect, and commencement will not happen until the minister says so. So there's nothing that says this tax will start 1st of January 2026. People need to get that right. TUC that is planning to go on strike to say it should be removed. I don't know what they want government to remove because it hasn't been imposed. And there's no regulation that says it will be imposed from January. The TUC should have complained and protested when this was introduced since 2007. So we only put it into the new tax law as part of the legislative process for transparency and for orderly implementation.